never gets old. Here we are back today at the Big T. Dave Rodman joining me here, Mackenzie Pfeiffer here. Going to go ahead and take you through this card. We have a stake this afternoon, and we'll take a look at the weather here. Really, really fantastic day. I believe it's 77 right now, somewhere about that. Don't quote me. There we go, 76. We see the fair rides are turning. We'll get horses running here. The track is fast, no turf here, and really, really lovely conditions.
Yeah, we always get that break in the weather, Mac, around this time of year when Timonium starts. Next weekend looking just as good with temperature in the mid-70s, assuming that the weatherman can get it right. He used to be a Timonium handicapper, but now he's gone to the weather, so hopefully
we'll see. Don't look at me to fill in for anyone there. But 57 minutes to go until race number 1, and an action-packed card. We'll dive right in race number 1. I do go ahead and put together a little ticket, and I'm going to try and single these first 2 races with the 4 in race 1, the 4 in race 2. I hit the all button in race 3, and then keep things 3 deep to get through the rest of the afternoon. 2-4-7 in race number 4, 3-5-6 in race number 5, but we'll see. A nice $22 ticket.
We love those pick 5s here at Timonium. It's a 12% takeout, early and late, carryover potential in each of the pick 5. So if no one hits that pick 5, early pick 5 today, it'll carry over to tomorrow's late pick 5. Same with the late on the program. That's a really, really good bet, especially because you can turn some short prices and parlay them into a much better payoff if you hit that pick 5, 50-cent wager minimum.
Right, and it's a great place to be doing it, especially if you have a few chalky favorites who you don't think you're going to be able to beat. This happened yesterday where it was sort of chalky in the morning, and then we found a few nicer spots, a $9.20 winner, middle of the card. So I think we get warmed up into this meet. And
which I think you picked on top, right? Was that the horse you had on top?
I did.
I know,
did.
yeah. Right.
A few people asked how I came up with it, and sometimes it's just luck. But hopefully not in these first 2 legs. You and I are in agreement in the number 4 for race 1, though, in honor of Jeff.
The reason I gravitated to the late pick 5 is I look at these 2-year-old races sometimes and think I'm always leaving out that last horse that's going to beat me. So the 2-year-old race is a bit challenging, especially at a half mile. First-time starters mixed in with some youngsters who might have a little bit of experience. Yeah, we both agree on the 4 in honor of Jeff, first-time starter, made from Lucky out of the Great Notion Mare's second line. And it's a half to a couple of decent horses. Bad Boy Blaze, Dream River, a winner here at Timonium. So related to some horses that did well over this track, we'll see if in honor of Jeff has the kind of speed that Dream River had in the career. Bad Boy Blaze, a little bit of bad luck at Timonium, but rebounded to win over Crosstown at Laurel as well. What highly regarded when he did run here. So in honor of Jeff, I'm just going by pedigree alone.
Now, tell me, so I'm in agreement with you there. The 1 is a horse you use your exacta. I kind of leave this one off. 3 of the half-siblings missed by double digits in their first 2 outings, so it made me a little bit nervous. What are you thinking when you spot this one?
I saw Boca Chica and Ferrier down inside there. Good workout, though it was on a sloppy track. No rain today. Track is fast. And as I told Frank Vespi yesterday on Timonium, here at Timonium on Today at the Races, in the 1 hole last year, was pretty solid. I actually have the stat right here. If I can do some quick counting, 5, 10, 15. I think the 20 runners broke out of post 1 here at Timonium last year, going the short distance, and produced probably 20-25% win ratio. So if he has some speed, I'm not afraid of that inside gate, especially given the connections in the bullet works. At 10%, 2-year-old first-time starters for Cloud Computing, his sire. Yeah, that's
right.
It's not bad, not great, you know. So that's what my thought there in using him in the mix.
Absolutely. Now, we both are in agreement. The number 6, this is Johnny Lies, another debut runner for Farrier. This one lands on the outside, though. How do you use this one?
Or is it Johnny Lees, the track announcer? We're not sure. Anthony Ferrier, tell me. 13%, 2-year-old first-time starters for Complexity. We've seen this sire with sprint winners, winners that translate going long. Brittany Russell with a Complexity Jane, stakes winner over at Laurel, having a really good percentage with the firsters, 13% 2-year-old firsters, and that Charlestown work from the gate. Farrier, 2-year-old first-time starters past 5 years at Timonium, a little bit on the light side as far as wins. Sometimes they need a race under their belt. But again, he's got that inside horse that I picked, Go Lang, and Johnny Lives as well. So I went to in honor of Jeff basically because of that, a little light on the FTS first-time starters 2-year-olds here at the Big T only.
Right, so definitely interesting. We wrap things up, both of us agreeing on the number 3 in here, Lucky Gallon.
This is an interesting horse. He's by Lumino. Lumino, I believe, was a $2.1 million purchase and claimed by Claudio, and now he's a stallion for Claudio, if I recall. I have to Lucky Trinity, who also ran, I believe, for Claudio Gonzalez as well. So interesting. You see that sire there. I had to do a double take and actually look up his record.
Exactly. And you mentioned the mare Lucky Trinity, also one who was a runner for Claudio.
I'm sorry, Lucky Trinity was a runner for Claudio, not a half to Lucky Trinity this horse. All right.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, but interesting. So debut winner and then went on to be stakes placed in that second outing. For me, I'm kind of with you there. This is just one of those intriguing types. If we can get any kind of value, sort of an interesting one. We'll be excited to see what they can do, and certainly.
And that's the reason I didn't do the early pick 5, and you did. You really. I mean, these 2-year-old races sometimes with firsters, especially given stats, unless you have something that's really, on the hotline text for everybody going, this guy can run. But I haven't heard any word on any of these 2-year-olds.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the second race kicks off here for the 3-year-olds and up going 4 furlongs on the dirt. And this is another one where I do try and get through with a single. I land with the number 4. I think you use this one not at all in your selections, if I'm correct.
She didn't really number up for me, but that doesn't mean she can't win. I was really attracted to the 2 Hot Fudge Warrior, Bruce Kravitz with Sunshine Hazel yesterday. Ran off a screen here at the Big T half mile, dropping in for the nickel. Second race back after time away. Second start in the barn. And that half mile at Delaware, 46 flat, was very, very hot. A 5th better than Chipotle, a really quick, nice, older, experienced horse who ran later in the day at Delaware. The winner of the race by 6, Maida, Brittany Russell trainee, now 2 for 3 lifetime with 80 and 82 buyers. This is a big, big drop in class. I know that might scare you, but if she can have any kind of semblance of early speed, I think she's gone to the front in this spot. Hot Fudge Warrior.
Right. I'm with you there. I worried a little bit about being on the inside, but I do think that second off of the bench is all the more reason to go ahead and think we're going to step forward. So again, I am a little bit scared as far as the single goes. And if you're splitting it with a friend, maybe go ahead and add the 2 in here. The number 3 is one who we both end up using just to the outside. Golden Can comes in for Tom McMahon. Took a little bit of a break, but came back in July. Maybe just needs to step forward a bit more, but we saw a 4.5 effort at Charlestown 2 back. Yeah,
I mean, just look at a horseback at December at Charlestown last year, second in a 4.5 furlong sprint in a wet fast track there. You kind of think of her as a turf horse, but she's very, very capable staying close on these quick half-mile sprints at Timonium. Ran once here at Timonium back in August of 2023, a race that's off the form, going a half mile versus much tougher fillies and mares than she's going to face today.
Absolutely. Wrap things up. Just making mention of the number 1, Paisley Singing. This is one who's been away from the races since 2023, but has a bit of experience. Is going to take a bit of a class drop. We'll see with these connections.
Yeah, she's a winner at Timonium. She's placed at Timonium as well. Rehabbed as an 8-year-old now, but where was she in 2024? That's the big question. A long layoff. I don't know. I mean, she in her past, in her better races, she's been very, very quick up front. But Hot Fudge Warrior coming off a race with some experience and a quick half-mile fraction at Delaware, though it's not a 44 or 45 type fraction. Comparatively for that day, I think she's going to try to go with Choppy aboard.
I agree with you there. So definitely an interesting one in here. Race number 3, bringing things along, going 6.5. This is a claiming non-winners of 2 event. I hit the all button in here
Yeah.
for the ticket. My top selection is one who I think it might be an all or nothing type. We do have that scratch in the 2 that helps us be able to hit the all button, but we see things a little bit differently in this race. Tell me about your number 6.
Maximus Speed, blinkers off today. They tried the blinkers on last couple of times. Didn't quite work out. But again, I'm going for some races back in the spring at Laurel to kind of put her over the top here. I'm not really convinced that she's any kind of single, and not, my favorite play of the day by any means, but I think she could be speed here at 6.5 furlongs. The 1 Ellinger we know is pretty quick. You went to Pure Realization, is that right?
I did. I
Yep.
thought this is one who you get to cut back just a little bit. Perhaps this is one who is a little bit of a need the lead. And, if you look back to the maiden win, of all places, it was here at Timonium going a mile.
All righty. I'm not in love with the race, so let's move on. Okay.
I agree with you.
I got
That's
some good stuff to talk about later.
hence why I hit the all button here. It is a little bit of a head scratcher. Race number 4 brings us up here. This field stays intact, going 6.5 furlongs here at the Big T. A maiden race, for the 3-year-olds and up. We'll go ahead and take a look. You land with the number 7 as your top selection.
Well, I'm waiting for this pedigree to come through one day. Made from Lucky out of Kersicki, if that looks familiar. Siblings Eastern Bay and John Jones. Old Eastern Bay, old hard-knocking horse who just kept winning and winning. And John Jones as well, stakes winner. Excuses last 2, slow start, bump start. Drops a bit in class today for trainer Tim Keefe, and I'm hoping that the pedigree will finally come through. I mean, I've got the horse with a winning number from way back, but on muddy track at Pimlico. I know buried in that race, but I thought against obviously a much tougher group than she's going to face today. Could have gone to number 3, Bella Cativa in here. Second start. Blinkers going on today. Got a little bit of support at the windows at 7-1 in an 8-horse field. Again, another filly like Teddy's Lucky Girl. Slow start in debut, but maybe the wake up with the blinkers on today could put a little bit more speed on her. Gina Perry, 61, 180-day layoff. You can see if you have daily racing form glaring at you with a positive return on investment with this type of layoff, $2.82. So it's a bit of a change that could be the wake-up call for her. Could have gone either way, 7-3-3-7, went 7-3-4-5, which brings us to your pick, Talbot Heirloom. Again, another equipment change. Interesting, though, that this filly had the blinkers, but with a previous trainer in Canada.
Exactly, and that's what kind of intrigues me. This is first time blinkers on the dirt here today. I just thought that this is one who's shown some early speed, maybe hasn't been able to hang on quite enough in those 7 furlong efforts, but has been perfectly reasonable, maybe up against it. You have a next out winner in that 2-back winner, so I just thought maybe there was a little bit more weight coming out of those fields. And if that's all it took to go ahead and get the upper hand here, perhaps she could.
Show me the follow-through, said the fans who wagered on her at even money and 70 cents to $1. And you see beaten favorite 4 out of the last 5 in the barn, but the blinkers today, again, good point, first-time blinkers on the dirt. Horse had blinkers, but on synthetic at Woodbine for previous trainer Michael DiPaolo.
Right, and just kind of an intriguing one in here, but definitely another race where you could scratch your head. I go 3 deep in my ticket. A few ways to go with it, and certainly some who are going to be looking for some improvement with just a little bit more racing experience. We'll wrap things up here, move along to race number 5, and that field also stays intact. We are quite intrigued with a few of these in here. A lifetime claiming event for 10,000, going 4 furlongs. These are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. I land with the number 6 on top. We were talking about this race off air. Certainly does intrigue. You ultimately end up going with the number 5. Curl and Rod comes in for Jose Corrales.
At first glance, I thought the race had to be either full of shenanigans or Curl and Rod. The 2 fillies coming out of the race won by Brooklyn Rhapsody, who's now a 5-time winner. So a much tougher field. Full of shenanigans, had the zip, And at first glance, it's okay, she's gone to the front and the race is over. But there's some horses coming off of turf races, Sweet Summer Love, and your horse, Seep, who's shown a good amount of zip, not only on the turf, but on the dirt at Charlestown in the sprint 4.5 furlong type distance. Could your horse be the one to really, really try to soften up into the far turn, soften up the speed of Full of Shenanigans?
Well, and that's kind of where I ultimately land with her. I think she does have just a really, really nice natural turn of foot. She comes from a very good family. She's a bit of a hot type, but I do think that this is a spot where she might be able to just go ahead and get the upper hand. Makes a lot of sense to me. She's been very competitive, even though she's maybe had a few different things go wrong, but she's been up against the right types of horses on the turf and isn't missing by very much. It's just a matter of switching back over to the dirt. The blinkers come off again today too, perhaps being on the outside. That will give her
that was
a little bit more wiggle room.
One race experiment, but always has speed, dirt and turf. Interesting. So I went to the 5 Curlin Rod, sticking to my guns, thinking the winner was coming out of the Brooklyn Rhapsody race. Though Curlin Rod didn't really gallop out to my liking past Full of Shenanigans. It is the second start after the layoff. Probably needed that race. Jose Corrales with a hot hand already. Couple of winners opening day at Timonium and a strong stat for second race after the layoff. Her only start here at Timonium August of last year was behind Malibu Hooch, who's turned out to be a very, very nice filly. This is a new world today. Curlin Rod's second off the layoff stat and again, out of the Brooklyn Rhapsody race.
Absolutely. New Boots is one who I throw in underneath. Another one who's maybe tried the turf, but she's very, very consistent in running into the money and finding a little bit of a place. So I wonder if she might be able to do that here again.
Where does she fit in the speed mix, right? She's going to probably try to go as well. So I think the pace should be more lively than at first glance on paper.
I agree. It definitely will have to be going the 4 furlongs here today. And we will take a quick break and be back to take you through the rest of this afternoon and Dave's late pick 5.
Semi-quincentennial. It stands for something very powerful. 2.5 centuries of legacy, of civic spirit, and people striving to serve, include, and inspire. The Maryland 250 Commission honors that legacy. So as we mark the semi-quincentennial, we know that the next chapter is ours to write. Happy 250th, America. And here's to the next 250 together.
We're just looking at our professor, Frank Vespi, over here and studying up, taking some notes. Race number 6 will be here with you. Scratching the number 7 and the number 8, Masacato, remembering Wilbur. We'll save it for another day. That just goes ahead and helps you narrow in on this late pick 5. Dave, walk us through this ticket.
Yeah, I do have a pick 5 ticket for you with a single, and as I told Frank Vespi yesterday, once in every semi-quincentennial, I do hit a pick 5. So this could be it, right? $18.03, is that right? Ticket, pick 5 ticket, 126, but singling my single. You got to single somebody. I'm going to go with Antonacci Girl, who I think is kind of the most likely winner of the day, but not at a super price in here. But I thought the races were a little wide open. That's a $12 ticket. Sorry, my bad on my math, obviously. And then 3-5. So 126, single the 3 in the 7th race, 3-5 with 4-5 with 1-4. And feel free to add or subtract as you will. But again, that's a $12 ticket for the late pick 5.
Well, and if that correction's wrong, you can blame me. I check my math always. But
thanks for the quick.
Race number 6 here. We are both in agreement on the number 2, though. I do think this kind of looks like it runs through Top Blood to go ahead and finally maybe have a day.
Hey, could today be the day I finally cash a ticket on Top Blood? 18. Look at this horse. 18-1 gallops. I thought it was a great-looking win. Comes back at a mile and a 16th on March 23rd. Was in trouble pretty much every step of the way. He's a hard horse to ride. I thought maybe he's going to be gelded. That's the trick. He was never gelded, and he finally came back to win again at 45-1 at Delaware, going a mile in midsummer, and then third last out. So I think he's going to have a good setup today. I just hope he's got his mind on running, not getting rank, and getting in behind horses. You know, it's kind of a free-running type horse. I loved his loop and swoop type moves he made at Laurel. So we both got him on top. That's a lot of weight to carry there, Top Blood, especially since I missed him at 45-1 at Delaware. It was esteemed. All right.
Well, that's exactly it. But I do like that Brasino was on him that day. He was on him early on, so perhaps there's a little bit more confidence. We figured out the horse. I
Yeah.
think the distance is really what seals the deal for me. We'll see what he thinks of this type of configuration. He's tried Timonium once before. It was on debut, but he actually did try to run on there. So maybe, oddly enough, it seems like a misfit. It might actually work out.
All right. So there we go. Top Blood. Come on, Top
There
Blood
we
today.
go. Now, you use the one in here. Alejandro comes in for Norm Cash. I skip over this one, but tell me a little bit. Where are you seeing this one?
Just the drop alone in the race 2 back at Ellis, right? I mean, you've got to look at that. I mean, Denny ran poorly again on a good track at Ellis, dropping in. Lynn Cash back on the scene, coming back here, and I just thought I couldn't ignore him. It's not a drop to rock bottom, but I'm just he's got that good inside draw, should sit a good trip, and the numbers are there. Actually, they're more than there. They're good enough to win the race.
Right.
So.
I agree with you, and I am happy to go ahead and eat my words here, but I worry he gets into a little bit of a chase mode, and from the inside, that might be it, because Smilemon, who we both use underneath, I thought might be the speed of the speed, and it could set up for a horse like the one to end up just sort of spinning wheels.
I think the pace is going to be lively, and Alejandro, I think, will be right off of it, just the way I see the race, but you got Uncle Cat in here, you got Smilemon, who I think might be a little bit dressed up with that nice number 2 back on a race taken off the turf. It was a good number, good enough to compete in this spot. I've kind of seen him run before. He just doesn't have that quick follow through, that late turn of foot. He's got some good early foot. So I think that maybe the dressed up number over the track, he's going to be overplayed because it's Jamie Ness and the connections. And I see a better price on Top Blood.
I agree. We both try to find a little bit more value and beat what's a likely favorite. Hopefully, you can kick that pick 5 off for you. We'll move along.
Key scratch, though, is remembering Wilbur, right, from the outside, who was going to be maybe one of the speeds, and Mazzucato. So that's going to leave to me like Uncle Cat to try to press Smilemon. And those two probably would be the pacemakers.
I agree completely with you there. So we'll go ahead and see how modest or how forward they end up keeping it. Race number 7 will move right along. Field stays intact for this field of 6. Rider change on the number 5, Frosty Maya. Gina Vello now aboard. We'll be going 6.5 here on the main track. This is for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and up, claiming 16,000. This is kind of an interesting race. We both land with the number 3, but very different underneath. How did you see this one shaping up?
Yeah, this is my single on the late pick 5, Antonacci Girl from Anthony Ferry's barn, beaten last time out at 5.5. A little extra distance today at 6.5 here at Timonium. Races very strong, I thought, from Pimlico and Mahoning Valley. Those races good enough to put her over the top. She's kind of a good trip horse that may get it this afternoon. And we both have her on top. I'm counting on her as a single and that pick 5 play.
Right. I do agree with you there. A bit of pace coming from the outside in Cora Felice. I use that one as a little bit of an intrigue. Has run some good enough numbers for me, but I'm right there with you. I think Antonacci Girl, it's that race 3 back at Laurel going the 3/4 of a mile where she was closing quite well from out wide. I thought that's something that signals she could be fitting in very well here.
Frosty Maya will probably go. I would think Corey Felice on the outside. Antonacci Girl shouldn't be in much hurry and just settle into a nice spot to pounce and hopefully carry on in here. Horse that I've chased quite a bit, Mac, is Ade or Aid or whatever you want to call her. I called her Ade. She was claimed for $20,000. They still haven't quite found out what makes her tick. I thought she'd run better in the Weber City Miss as a long shot behind Complexity Jane. But again, that was without Lasix, but she seems to be kind of coming around a little bit of late. Good check getter, doesn't have a lot of early speed, but could get in that exacta here. So I used her Ade there from the Rudy Salomon barn.
Right, and worth mentioning, she's a horse who showed a lot of ability early on, maybe just lost her form a little bit, but I have to believe it's still in there. I was curious where you'd place her in here today. So we'll move right along as we get ready for stakes action. In the meantime, race number 8 here. Scratch in the 4, Lovely Charm. The rest of the field stays intact. Now, we both land with the number 5 on top in here as well. This is going to be Cluck Cluck. I'll be looking forward to hearing you call this one as well.
Yeah, behind Low Country Magic, who is a really well-rated winner, ship in to Laurel Park last time out. Next out ran third at Colonial, did Low Country Magic with an 81 buyer figure. That projects this filly to be right there. Claudio Gonzalez figured her out. As you can see, right off the claim, she's won 3 of 5 races since the claim in a couple of seconds. Got beat on that good track behind Quick Kwai, but a couple of her wins have been cruising type wins. You see 2 back, the short comment from Bill and Keith upstairs, cruise clear at the 3A. She was kind of a wrapped up had her driving that day, but as she was coming in upper stretch, she was just basically under wraps, and then they let her loose, and she went on to win by daylight. And again, then following up with the Low Country Magic race, I think that puts her right there. I mean, she's kind of like Captain Obvious horse.
I completely agree with you. Is the one to beat. I am interested in Haint Blue coming back for Hammy Smith. This is one who took a little bit of a break, about a year off. I have to look a little closer there, but I use this one in my exacta. Third off of the bench, seems a little intriguing, maybe finds the right company here. You use her underneath. You seem intrigued as well.
Well, I just want she needs to go back to her spring form last year at Laurel, where she beat Continental Congress. Continental Congress, a Michael Trombetta train runner, 81 buyer figure in winning next time out. And that runner is very, very consistent in the Trombetta barn. 1, 2, and 11 of 32 starts. Gave a time away, almost a year off. She's got 2 races under the belt. Comes out of a fairly quick race at Delaware where the pace appeared somewhat slow. 24 for the opening quarter half and 47 and 4, rounding back into shape. X-Men gets aboard. Yeds at Hazelwood had a couple of calls. He went to Cluck Cluck. Haint Blue is X-Man.
Right, understandably so. A very, very interesting race here, and that brings us to race number 9. This will be the Shine Again Stakes. Scratch in the 1 and the 2, save them for another day. This 4-horse field, do you think it turns into a bit of a rider's race, or is there a standout for you?
Well, I kind of wish that I'm a Cutie Pie and Twissette, especially Twissette, had stayed in the race, because she was certainly going to be the pace or a pace factor in here. Now with a shorter field, you have to always worry about what's that half-mile fraction going to be. I know Discreet Ops is probably going to beat me in the pick 5, but I went to Bernie Houghton here with Chapa. She's never been here at Timonium, but Bernie Houghton in non-graded stakes, Daily Racing Form Formulator, non-graded stakes the past 5 years, 8 for 28 and a positive return on investment of $3.35. She's kept the company at Parks 3 back behind Carmelina, a 7-time winner, finishing 4th in that race. How about Disco Ebo, right? I mean, that was just a super quality race, and she was 3rd right there. 3 races back. Carmelina beat her 2 races back, and then she caught that soft turf at Penn National. Back on the dirt today. She's faced some quality runners. She's a much better horse on a dirt fast track. She gets that fast track on the dirt here at the Big T.
Right. I'm right there with you. I don't have much more to add. I think she sort of is the class of the field as far as the company she's kept, and I just forgive and forget that last out. The one I do think is kind of interesting, Happy Clouds, comes in for Ryan Gillespie. This is one who, has run at Charlestown. Oh, maybe not a Timonium experience, but some configuration experience, and I think has a bit of speed. That
I think is the speed. I mean, I use this horse in the pick 5 for sure. And very, very afraid that now with a shorter field, she's got the lick. 2 races back in the Alma North. It was a 5-horse field, and I said, I guess the connections thought, the only way we're going to try to beat St. Benedict's Prep Alani, that type, is to go for it. Well, they went for it, and they went like way too fast, really. 22:45 and change, and I think she's gone right to the front today. Now, Chapa's going to have to run her down. So I use both in the pick 5, and maybe that's the exacta.
Right.
But then again, maybe Discreet Ops will beat me, and maybe Discreet Ops will split me.
That's the big question. Discreet Ops coming in off of the bench. Where will she fit into this mix? But certainly has the class and the experience to hold her own. We'll wrap things up. You said you wanted to avoid the 2-year-olds, but you still found yourself getting out of the card in this 2-year-old race number 10.
This one looked a little more decipherable to me. Okay. It's hard to avoid the 2-year-old race, but this is not a half-mile 2-year-old race, right? 6.5.
Fair and a half.
Yeah.
Fair and a half.
Fair
enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. Going 6.5 here for these maiden 2-year-old fillies. Scratch in the 7, Fly Chica. Still leaves a 6-horse field intact. And you go 1-4, I go 6-1. We're in agreement to some extent, and a few intriguing types.
B2 Sweet is by B Jersey. Solid standout stat with first-time starters overall. 24% first-time starters in dirt sprints. Horse has some works for Lynn Cash that look good on paper, and it's a full to a little horse you might remember, Sweet Sadi J.
I do remember him from here at Timonium 2 years ago.
Yeah, won
right?
the Timonium Juvenile.
Exactly.
Yep. So, has a pedigree to run in a full to Sweet Sadi J. If she can run anything like Sweet Sadi J, the race might be over by the time they hit the Ferris Allen wheel around the far turn.
It is that work 3 back, the 35 and 4 from the gate that just kind of jumps off the page and piques my interest here. Only a sampling of 2 horses that day.
Tip Manny is a horse, right, with one race, and she ran against Just Filtered, who won the Keswick at Colonial Downs. Interesting comment, Rail finished well. If you look at the race, was right up there in the pace. Just Filtered blew them away, but she did go on to run, keep on going. And so 4.5 to 6.5. Off-Sin Spring, it's Corrales, Jorge Hernandez up. Very, very afraid of her. So if the one doesn't show with the pedigree and the work potential, first out potential from Messiah, and Tip Manny is the horse to use. And so I had to use both in the pick 5. You went to the 6 in there. Doc's Miracle, experience counts, right? Frank Vespi had one yesterday, and I said, why do you like this horse? The horse has been out 3 times. Similar kind of workout pattern, right? Ran against Just Filtered. Tip Manny was 2nd. Doc's Miracle was 4th.
Yeah, here's my note here, though. I land on the 6, Doc's Miracle. I don't love. 4 different tries, that 2-back effort where I thought, really, we've stepped forward, we're doing it, we're getting there. I just thought that debut effort, he had a really troubled trip and, wasn't necessarily, and was a little tough early on before the race as well.
Check,
so
pinch start, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. Everything kind of just has to finally have his day. So he's a use for me. I don't know if I love him, but I am excited to see a few others in here.
Yeah, Jedset had 2 calls. Is that right? In the race? Yeah. And went to Doc's Miracle over Tip Manny.
Right.
For Corrales.
And the weight comes off. So that ultimately is maybe what swayed me a little bit. But we'll see. We'll have to get through the other 9 races before we can wrap things up in race 10 here today. 24 minutes to go until race number 1. Stay tuned for any scratches and changes. And National Anthem will be back to kick things off. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Mac. Changes and National Anthem coming up immediately, right away. And welcome to Timonium, where the track is fast. Temperature in the mid to upper 70s. Light winds out of the south at about 5 miles per hour. Here's a look at your Timonium program changes. In the first race, number 3, Lucky Galan, owned by MCA Racing Stable, LLC. In the second race, no changes. In the third race, scratch 2, Not So Holy. 3, Bad Boy Blaze, owned by CJI Phoenix Group, Uptown Girl Racing, and Allison Delgado. Fourth race, 1, River Rabbit, is 1 over. Fifth race, no changes. In the sixth, scratch the 7, Masicato, and the 8, Remembering Wilbur. Seventh race, 5, Frosty Mare, jockey Gene Alvelo on the 5. Eighth race, scratch 4, Lovely Charm. Ninth race, the Shine Again. Scratch the 1, I'm a Cutie Pie. Scratch the 2, Twisette. 10th race, scratch the 7, Fly Chica. Race 10. 21 minutes to post time, and the track is fast. Good luck today here at Timonium. Singing today's national anthem is Maryland's own 12-year-old Kate Solomon. Born and raised in the Hereford Zone of Baltimore County, Kate has performed in various local theaters.
Oh, say, can you see by the what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner